shield.
I will protect you.
Get behind me.
It's me.
But I'm not gonna let it embarrass me. Yeah, to go live. Maybe. Did that fix it, guys? It says that like I'm registering mic on my soundbar.
Yes, okay, hello. I get to do it all over again. All right, welcome again to Heilung Reinhardt's live stream. My friends, we are here,
And I'm dropping the Reinhardt, yeah. So because I already did this, and you get to hear this twice, Austin. So we already did this, but we'll run through it again. So as many of you guys know, I do own a film and music production company, and I'm really, really excited. I put a little bit of post about it today on the Discord, and you guys have already started to respond to that. Thank you so much for those of you that did. But today is a very special day. This is the first film that we've done completely in-house. This is ours. We own it. We did it all top to bottom with all of our own talent and all of our own people. So I'm very proud of it, and I'm very proud of the hard work and the hard effort that was put in by everybody involved. To kind of showcase that today, we're going to be talking with one of the executive producers on the film. His name is Austin, and he's going to be joining us for stream just here to do an interview. We're not going to be here forever long because I know that we have not been sleeping much in preparation for this, and I don't want to keep him too long, but I did want to kind of share this with you guys a little bit. And so without further ado, oh, and I will be streaming for Reinhardt later after I eat some dinner. So for starters, real quick before we jump in with Austin, down below in the description, you guys will find a link for Infiltrator, which is my Terminator fan film that we made. We're over 2,000 views in less than 24 hours, which is way better than even my streams and my channel does. And I'm very, very excited about that. And I hope that you guys enjoy it as much as we enjoyed making it. So kind of jumping in here real quick. With us we have, who are you, sir? Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. I think because you and I specifically, when we started in on even this idea, neither of us have any kind of film background. Neither of us. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's I think for me that was the other thing because kind of in the wake of making this, I met so many people that were involved in local DFW filmmaking, and I start hearing about casting calls. I hear about all these different things going on, and we had done what we were doing. We had gotten started. We were in pre-production. And as you well know, those many sleepless nights, and I started looking into some of these casting calls and things that people were talking about, and I actually got to spend a couple days on set for Queen of the South, which is on USA Network, as an extra in the background. I was a background actor, and seeing the way that they do things too also kind of brought to light the way that the film industry works with boots on the ground, and then kind of translating that to how a larger production like that works, as opposed to when we're doing it and, you know, we don't have the kinds of budgets or the kinds of equipment that they have either. So for me, that was kind of eye-opening as well, kind of like what you're talking about, being going from being a viewer, just a spectator, to actually being involved with the actual production and not really having the insight, trying to use logic to fill in those gaps, you know, where the skill may not yet be there. What was I remember specifically calling you one day while I was at work. Yeah. Yeah. So let me they're saying they're having a hard time hearing you. Hang tight for me just a second. Um Great. So we didn't hear anything that you said because in my panic, I had you muted the whole time when they said that my mic wasn't working. So yeah, so we'll continue from here with you unmuted.
Okay.
And I'll kind of recap with everybody at some point and kind of type in. So, but yeah, so start over again right there. I called you and I asked you. What?
Yes, you called. I was at the gym at the time, and you called and asked me if I was still working out because it had been a couple of years since we'd seen each other face to face. So,
yeah.
And literally at that particular moment, I was doing exactly what you were asking me if I was still there.
You were being a gym rat right then and there in that moment. You were there in the gym.
Yes.
So. Yeah, kind of because I remember this very vividly, and I'm sure on some level you do too. But kind of walk me through, like when I called you, what were you thinking, and like can you remember the conversation and like how we worked through that? Tell me what your perspective was on all that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the time I was thinking one more rep, and then you called, and I was thinking, oh well, that's a really weird question, but you know, sure, yeah, I'm still working out, and you know, my initial reaction was it sounded amazing to do the kind of film that you were talking about doing, because as a fan, I thought that it needed to be done, and it hadn't. You know, they just kind of skipped over it, and at the same time, I thought there's no way I'm qualified to do this. And so that was probably my initial reaction is it's an interesting question. It's a fun idea, but there's no way it should be me involved in the process. But
sure.
So yeah, that was my initial reaction.
Yeah, I remember. So for those of you that haven't seen it yet, and will be watching it, so this is Infiltrator is a future war set film. This is set in the year 2029, which is after Judgment Day, and they are well in the war against Skynet. So this film is designed to be an opener to what we had hoped would be a third film set completely in the future, and takes you through the events of the war. Through the introduction of the T-800 model, which is what Arnold is in the first two Terminators, takes you through the introduction of that model of Terminator, and then gets you to the point where they are actually sending people into the past. Genesis told a very different story. It diverges completely from the timeline, and the way that we see it, there is a loop. There's a timeline that's like this, and then there's a loop. And in that loop is the story of Terminator 1, Terminator 2, and what we had hoped would be a Terminator 3 that more told the future story. And we have a full script. We originally wanted to make this as a pitch to James Cameron because we knew that he'd be getting the rights back for the Terminator franchise. And we originally did Infiltrator. We wrote Infiltrator and started to produce it as a pitch film. Something to catch the eyes of the world and kind of get some focus there so we could have a conversation with him. And we decided instead to go ahead and just do a fan film, a 30-minute introduction to the T-800 in this universe. And that's where we are now, is we still have that script. And if James Cameron wants to talk, we've already got everything done, start to finish on that level of that. And I would love, Austin, what would you think of that?
I mean, I'd be all over that. That'd be amazing to be picked up to participate in that in any sort of way. It's interesting to read the interviews with him and to hear where he wants to take the franchise. Mm-hmm. Certainly to participate in that would be amazing. I know other fan film production companies have been able to participate in the master company for what they fan produced. That'd be a lot of fun. I mean, no question.
Yeah. So if this ever gets out there and Mr. Cameron were able to see this interview, please, in the most humble fashion, please consider contacting us, because we would love to have a discussion with you. We have more concepts, and with a better budget, I'm sure that our efforts would be maybe better fully realized. So as far as your participation in this, what all did you do? And what kind of daily change to your life, or what kind of consistencies did you have to keep in your life during production?
Sure. It's an interesting question, because originally you had just said, hey, do you want to look like this guy that works out on TV? And I said, well, are there lines? And you said no. And I said, great, I could probably do that. And the fact that I didn't have to say anything, I think, was the selling point for me. But like I said, I've been a huge fan of film and TV. I know they didn't hear that before because I was muted, but yeah. As such a fan, to be able to be on a production company set and to see what goes on behind the scenes was thrilling for me. And I noticed the first couple of days I was there was a lot of talking, a lot of planning, but not a lot of filming. And so I had conversations with everybody while I was there, just trying to see what was missing, what was lacking, why were things not getting done. And one of the comments made to me was, we don't have an AD and we really need one. And so I thought, okay, well, what does that person do? And so, like the nerd that I am, I Googled AD and assistant director and read what they're supposed to do. And I thought, well, that doesn't sound too hard. Maybe I could just start doing that. Yeah. And I've known John Mark for years and years and years. And so, of course, there's that bond and trust there already. And so it was not uncomfortable for me to just start saying, hey, let me do this. Hey, let me do this. And so that's what I started doing. And so by the time production wrapped, I was an actor, fortunately with no lines. That made it easy. But also assistant director. And I also did some set stuff because we lost our original set. Unfortunately, the mall ended up being demolished completely. But we lost it in an operation. yeah, lost it in an inopportune time, and so we had to fill in with other locations which were closer to me, and so I ended up doing some set dressing and some other stuff. But to be involved as fully as I was a lot of fun. It was an amazing experience, and definitely way better than just showing up and looking like some guy that works out sometimes with no lines. So
I think one of my favorite set photos actually is you when you were getting some direction for one of the kill scenes, and you're just standing there and you are so ripped, and the lights and the shadows are just playing perfectly on every attenuation of your muscles, and you just look so freaking jacked. And it was just, oh man.
Yeah, well, let's be clear. I don't look like that all the time. That is careful. That is very careful pre-production planning for light and positioning. And the camera guy who took that photo, an amazing cameraman, and he just happened to be ready to take it when I was there. And that was actually not during filming. That was definitely pre-camera on, but he took the photo anyway. So
yeah, thanks
to him for doing that. But yeah, I mean, a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah. So I guess at this point, because I know that you want to get to bed at some point tonight, and I do want to go ahead and kind of find a way to wrap this up. I guess from your perspective, because I've got my perspectives and I could talk for days. Everybody knows here that I can talk for days. But well, I could talk for days too. Good grief.
Yes, I do know that.
Back and forth forever.
Absolutely.
What from your perspective, what do you see like the launch of this? Like, what do you think of the launch of this so far? How do you perceive moving forward with like promotion and having conversations and maybe looking at additional filming prospects, as well as like the potential of being able to actually take TEKSYN Projects into being a standalone company that could provide you with the compensation to be able to quote unquote leave your day job? Like what does that look like for you in an ideal scenario?
Great question, and it was probably about 20 questions rolled into one.
Yeah. But like, there's a train of thought, though, right?
I know what you're asking.
Austin, don't worry, I'm not going to make this hard on you.
No worries, man. 20 questions at once. Let me power roll through them.
Yeah.
So the release, I think, was good. I'm happy with the views that we have today, given the very limited initial starting number that we submitted to.
Yeah.
And we'll just see how it builds. I think for me, what would be ideal, of course, is for somebody to see it and want to hire us to do some work. I would love to quit the jobs that I'm doing now and do film full time. That'd be fantastic. Because like I said, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Enjoyed every aspect of it. And so it's going to come down essentially to viewership. Ton of fan films out there bring in millions of views, and those production companies that make them, they get real full-time contract work. And I think for us wanting to work in DFW and not move to New York and not move to Los Angeles, but to stay here local and use local talent, there's a huge local talent pool here. And I think we can pull from it and use it. And we just need the contracts to do some film. And I think we can pull it off. We have everybody essential personnel to pull off almost any production that someone would need, given the time to prep for it. And so ideally, that would be what occurred, is this leads to contracts to do work that allows all of us to quit our normal jobs that we do every day and to do film full time. And that would be fantastic. I would love that.
Yeah. You're hitting all the same high notes that I am, and probably much more concise than I'd be able to kind of put together. So, thank you for letting me ask that there.
Absolutely.
So kind of where we are right now, guys, today, just one more time, today is the world premiere release of Infiltrator, a Terminator fan film by TEKSYN Projects out of DFW, Texas area. Again, we're here with Austin Woodard, and he is an executive producer on the film. and a business partner of mine and one of my best friends. So kind of just as a fun fact here before we drop off of the stream here and go ahead and tell everyone good night. I love this. I love this so much because my stream is based around Overwatch, and I do the
voice of Reinhard Wilhelm, and I scream and I play the game and I'm always around, and yes.
And Overwatch is, of course, Blizzard Entertainment. So what do you know about Blizzard Entertainment, and how has Blizzard Entertainment affected your life?
Oh, man. It's a loaded question, dude. Blizzard has been a fantastic game production company for as long as I can remember. Played Warcraft before it was World of Warcraft, played Diablo, played all that stuff. My best friend in high school, when we graduated, he joined the Navy, and back then, there was no online gaming community, and Diablo 2 gave us the ability to connect to each other. While he was in Connecticut and I was in Dallas through TCP/IP, we could play together. And so Blizzard gave us that opportunity to stay connected in that way after he joined the Navy, which was amazing. And then when World of Warcraft came out, all of my nerdy friends, I'm a nerd too, they were all playing it. And so after about 6 months, I said, okay, fine, I'll pick it up. I had played EverQuest before and was not super thrilled with it because it was difficult to navigate, I guess. I had to say all the right things. World of Warcraft, though, Blizzard, they changed all of that. They made it easy. You didn't have to say all the right things. You just go find the exclamation point on the person's head. And so, that's where I met you, and not just there, but after in real life, because you were local. And so that was great. Blizzard, big part of my life for 5 years. Top 3 guild on the server, top 3 warrior on the server. Killed it for a long time, but kids change things, so not playing anymore. I did play Overwatch beta, but I don't have time to play the game. So it was phenomenal though, the beta. I love it.
I'm still enjoying it, and we've got a great community right here. And within the Overwatch community, we've got a great community with the voice actors. And so I'm very thankful for these folks, and very thankful for the opportunity to play with them and kind of engage with them. But it's funny because I look back on it, and the number of friends that I still have in the wake of Blizzard and World of Warcraft. Like you were saying, you were actually at one point, I don't know if you know this, you were top 80 warrior in the world. I remember looking that up.
I knew I broke 100, but I didn't know the exact number, but somebody told me I broke 100. Yeah,
you were in the 70s.
Yeah, that's hot.
And I remember all that time and all that effort. And the thing is the Argo Bargle Nexus is in my live chat right now, and they've said to let you know hard work pays off. And I'll transition that over here a little bit. We worked hard in those guilds. We worked hard, countless sleepless nights, and the tenacity that you had going into raids, man, because you were outperforming your gear by leagues. There were times when your gear was falling way behind, and you managed to continue to show up and make your presence known in a very, very powerful way, and show up on charts even in places you shouldn't have. And that kind of showed me something about you before I met you in person. And that had a lot to do with how I knew I could trust you, really. I know that kind of sounds crazy, but
I get it, man. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Guys, I can't compliment this guy enough. He's been one of my best friends for several years now, and just an incredible business partner and an incredible person to work on this film with. So if you guys could blow up chat if you're still in there, and shout out to Austin real quick as we bid him farewell and let him finally go to bed and get some sleep.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, and same to you. I mean, likewise, the feelings are mutual. So
thanks, man. Yeah, I'm
all
really,
day, every day, doing work.
All day, every day, doing work, boy. So, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Again, thank you for taking the time out of your day. This is a lot longer than I anticipated, but you're great to talk to.
It's all right, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for promoting the film and, of course, taking part in it and all that. So I'm
Absolutely.
happy to share it with your community any way possible. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, we'll go ahead and do some more later, and maybe try to get you involved in that in some facet.
Cool, man.
Cool, man. You have a good night. Feel free to go ahead and dismiss yourself. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up real quick with them and let them listen to the theme on the way out. Cool.
All right, brother. Everybody have a good one.
Thanks, bro. You have a good one. So again, guys, that was Austin. He's one of my business partners, executive producer on Infiltrator, which is a Terminator fan film made by TEKSYN Projects, my company. I'm so beyond excited, and I'm sorry about the technical difficulties we had toward the beginning of the stream there. Austin was kind of talking about how when he got started into kind of being a nerd and kind of just being into entertainment, like recognizing what kinds of entertainment he was interested in. TV and film were kind of the forefront of what people had access to. Going to the theater, going to the movie theater after that, and then watching things on TV, watching movies on TV, and so for him, he was saying that it was really crazy. Going from having zero film experience to then being asked to be involved in a film, showing up to pre-production meetings and showing up to table readings and kind of seeing things actually play out, and then actually being on set for the film whenever it was going, is just something that like really kind of blew his mind. And then after that we took him off of mute. So sorry he was on mute. I did recently drop some money into my computer. I got a new sound card, and I didn't expect for some of my sound settings to have been augmented off my stream. So I apologize for that, and I appreciate y'all's patience while we got that figured out. So my closing remarks on this stream. Number one, yes, we will be doing a game stream tonight. I need to get a little bit of dinner in me after this, so hang tight, and we will come back for a separate stream for Overwatch, where I will be
Heilung Reinhardt, and we will show them the glory. We will put up a shield and swing the hammer. We will do that for you, my friends. We will do it, and it will be great.
But in the meantime, I am going to go ahead and get some food. While that's happening, go watch Infiltrator. You see what I did there? Again, down below, there is a link to the video. We do have an Infiltrator fan page on Facebook, and my company has a YouTube channel, which is where Infiltrator is hosted. Please do like, subscribe, share, hit the bell icon. We will be doing more there, and I will actually be conducting some additional interviews on the TEKSYN Projects YouTube channel here before too long. So I'm gonna isolate a few cast members and a few crew members at a time, and we'll do some streams over there, more in a group setting where we can all kind of interact there. And so hopefully you guys will enjoy that. Again, this has been a dream come true for me, being able to do this. And again, I was the other executive producer on the film. I wrote, composed, and performed the entire soundtrack for the film, the entire score, and I played two characters. Well, three if you consider one that gets shot in the background. But I played two characters in the film as well, and it was an absolute honor to share that time and experience with the entire cast. So very, very thankful for you guys for hanging out with us tonight, and I hope that you enjoyed this. I am going to go get some food, and in the interim, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you guys listen to the closing credits song for Infiltrator, and we will go ahead and close the stream as soon as that is done, and we'll go ahead and go eat some dinner, come back, and get the stream going for Overwatch. So, again, thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoy it.